Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You're at the Livingston County Board of Commissioners meeting for January 5, 2026. Happy New Year. I'm officially calling the meeting to order. We'll start with a moment of prayer by Commissioner Panovich.
Thank you. Heavenly Father, we gather today, we ask for your guidance and wisdom in our discussions that we're going to have. May we listen to each other with open hearts, speak with respect, and work together to find solutions that honor your will. Bless our meeting with productive outcomes and a spirit of unity. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Would everyone rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Might we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Helserman,
Present.
Commissioner Domas.
Here.
Commissioner Sample,
Here.
Commissioner Nakagiri.
Here.
Commissioner Dreck,
Here.
Commissioner Deaton,
Here.
Commissioner Panovich.
Here.
Commissioner Fiani,
Here.
Commissioner Gross.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Item number 5 on the proposed meeting agenda is approval. Can I get a motion to approve?
So move Deaton.
Support. Motion by Deaton, support by Domas. Any comment or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, voice vote, kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? My ears heard 9-0. Agenda is approved by unanimous vote. Item number 6A is entitled Correspondence. It's from Ingham County. It's a resolution number 25-592 urging transparency and a comprehensive regulatory framework in local data center development. What's your pleasure?
Motion to place on file correspondence from Ingham County. Support Deaton.
Motion by Commissioner Sample, support by Commissioner Deaton to place on file. All those in favor, voice vote, kindly say aye.
Aye.
9-0 on file. We're on to 7. It's called to the public. It's our first one of 2 tonight. This is 3 minutes. Have you any cards?
I do.
Proceed.
Charles Smith from Howell Township, followed by Todd from Cahockta.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have a couple questions. Not sure that whether or not you folks can answer it. I've been to a lot of different meetings. Is this one where you just look at me and nod your head or don't say anything? I just need to know. There, I got a head nod, which means you can't say anything. So I'm still gonna ask a couple questions here. I've looked at a couple of the different maps and I'm looking at a zoning map, and in the zoning map, when I look at the legend, it calls out that the area where none of us wants a data center on, they're calling it out as now being a renewable energy overlay. I need to know what that is, because in the county map, it calls it out as secondary growth. So I need to get an answer on that. I don't know who's responsible for sending it to me, but I need to know the difference in what the overlay is versus the secondary growth and how they relate to each other. Because if nobody can talk to me, somebody better send me something, please, because I'm really looking into this stuff and I would greatly appreciate that. Also, relative to what's going on out in that neck of the woods, I live right at the corner. Some of you may have already known I'm about 2,200 feet away from that property. I live on Fleming Road, and I am very concerned about everything that's going to happen out there. Very much so. If they put in all 5 buildings, it's going to take 8 to 10 years before they get that stuff put in there. I also know that they're going to try, at least from what's been explained to me, they're going to do one, and then they're going to get that all up there because they don't know if the bubble's going to burst. And then they get that one all done, then they're going to do the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, depending on what is going to transpire between now and then. Which means that crap will be going on next to my house for 8 to 10 years. I'm gonna hear nothing but noise. The decibel levels are gonna be high. I know, I've gone out, I've listened, I've gone to construction sites. I've watched people on the internet using their decibel meters. I work at Spiral Industries. One of the things I have to do as being the safety manager and the environmental manager is to monitor the decibels within my plant to make sure that they're not excessive. So I know what decibels are. I know where they have to be. And the last thing I want is to be sitting out on my deck in the middle of summer. I was supposed to retire in December. I'm going to be retired at the end of this year. At the end of this month. I do not want to be sitting on my deck and having listened to that crap for the next 10 years. I've lived out there for 20 years. I bought that house with the sole intention of retiring there. Okay? Do we understand that, please? I will fight this till the day I die. Thank you.
Todd from Cohocton, followed by Steve Williams.
Good evening. I hope everybody's doing well.
Your last name?
My name is Todd Kozakevich.
Thank you.
I live at 6205 Raditz Road. It's in the southwest corner of Cohocton Township. I'm about 1.75 miles from the paused proposed data center site. Not nearly as close as Chuck is, but close enough. And while there's no specific business that I know of about that data center here tonight, I would just like to take every opportunity to make sure that no one is forgetting that there is a very large and quickly growing opposition to data centers in our area and throughout the country, throughout the world. I'm sure you don't need reminding of that, but every voice and every face needs to be heard and seen because it's very important to us. We ask that everything that comes across your desk, every conversation you have regarding data centers, that you consider the people. And while I understand this board does not draft the master plan, you do adopt it. And we ask that any way you can, if you can influence the master plan to protect our rural character and our natural resources, that would be greatly appreciated. Keep in mind the desires of the community that chose to live in an area such as this. It's a nice area. We don't want an area we don't want our town turned upside down by the data center invasion. Let's be a county that turns back the data center wave, because that's what your people want. And we can do that. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Steve Williams, Marion Township, followed by Angela Barbish.
Been a busy day. Good evening and happy New Year, commissioners. I know we have two spots here. I'm actually going to start off with the item that is less important. The most important item I want to talk about is child welfare and safety. But first, I'm going to give you an update on that stolen horse. You know, we talked about thinking about our county history and our heritage and everything. It's still our second largest industry in the county, just like it is in the state. And you may remember that we've been looking for this horse for 5.5 years. What I've provided you here is the documentation, the felony warrant that was originally issued, the writ of replevin from the state of Florida once we found the horse, demanding renewal or return of the horse, the guilty plea, the victim's rights unit letter from St. Clair County, et cetera, et cetera. And then that is followed by
transcripts from a hearing in our courtroom in Brighton, April 18th of this year, Good Friday, in which you will see that our judge, Susan Longsworth, acted as if she was the attorney for the offender, right? So this was a PPO hearing. This was the third of 3 days of hearings over 3 months. And she sits there and leads him, and then she grilled him without any ability of our attorney to say anything. And then she grilled the deputy and ended up not allowing a deputy who wrote the first police report that led to the felony warrant, didn't allow him to testify. He'd driven from Fort Huron, literally 100 miles one way, under subpoena. She knew it was coming. She let the offender go off into a side room, talk to the deputy. You will see in the transcript that Forrest Putman says, oh, he doesn't remember anything. And then the deputy corrects that. And yet the judge still doesn't let that testimony go forward. Now, in the earlier hearing, I think it was a February date, she let Mr. Putman testify. She let the direct horse testify. Remember, they did this together. So essentially, we have a judge, a circuit judge on the bench, one of only 3, who would prefer to accept testimony from 2 horse thieves than from a sworn officer of the law. I know I provided some of this to you before. I thought I'd give you this as more of a synopsis right now. All the details are there. This is all open documentation. Now, the last couple of attachments have to do with, you may remember, I told you, these 2 also stole 2 adult female golden retrievers and a puppy. One of the golden retrievers was pregnant. Later, they falsified documentation to register 13 puppies at $1,500 apiece. So this is a huge economic impact. And the judge ridiculed my wife for asking to try and get a PPO to protect us from additional livestock theft. But you'll notice in my PPO, that is exactly one of the items that's covered. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the end of the meeting. Hope there's no bloodshed with the elections tonight.
Angela Barbesh, Howell Township, followed by Lauren Prebenda.
Hello, Commissioners. It's nice to see you again. As she said, my name is Angela Barbash. I'm a relatively newer resident here in Livingston County, about 4 years this month, actually. I've been an investment advisor for 22 years, and the primary role at my company is the Chief Compliance Officer. And it's a company that I helped found 13 years ago. And so I know my way around the financial markets and primarily risk management, which is my job every day, is to show up and help our clients stay safe and help our firm stay in business. So the thing that jumped out at me about the letter from Ingham County, or the resolution that they shared, is that really what I saw in it was risk management, that's what they're addressing. Right now, the infrastructure build out in the AI sector is outpacing revenue on a 12-to-1 scale, which is not necessarily unusual or unreasonable in a new segment. That means they're spending $12 in infrastructure build out for every $1 they're making in revenue across the AI sector. What I'm concerned about is that we don't know how this story is going to end with AI. It could turn out that the 12-to-1 investment is worth it and it all pays off in the end, or it could not. And the timeline is unknown. When the fiber industry was being built out in the early 2000s, they didn't know how long it was going to take for us to start to use those lines. It took us 25 years, 20 years roughly, before that started to pay off. And a lot of companies went under in the middle of that. I'm guessing by the age of our panel here that you will all remember the tech crash, right? And what happened. So my real concern is that corporations have had a long history in the state of Michigan and across the United States of leaving communities high and dry. So what I'd really encourage our County Board of Commissioners to do is to develop a similar resolution that is focused on risk management. It's clear that we're not going to be able to turn away data centers writ large, and I understand that there's support on the board for data centers. So I'm not going to try to convince you to say no to data centers. I think that's a losing argument. But what I would try to convince you to do is to really develop a comprehensive risk management plan that instructs local units of government government on how to deal with these. I don't think our local units of government are equipped for this conversation, to be frank. And I think it's going to take a series of professionals and a county hand to come in and guide the conversation. Thank you for listening.
Lauren Prebenda, Osceola Township, followed by Stephanie Booth.
Hi, thank you for your time, commissioners. My name's Lauren Prebenda. I'm an Osceola Township resident and a lead organizer of the Livingston County Residents for Responsible Development, which is a nonprofit organization that developed in response to the recent hyperscale data center proposal in Howell Township. For many residents, including myself, that proposal was a pretty glaring reminder of the importance of remaining engaged and informed in what's happening in your community. And so I am here and I intend to do so. Provided that the state of Michigan and our county have seen data center proposals at our doorstep in recent months, and also there is a data center correspondence item on the agenda tonight, I also hope to hear from you all as the county's legislative and policy setting body as to what your thoughts are on how we can ensure at the county level that the health and welfare of residents are protected from the negative impacts of hyperscale data center development, as well as how the county can support townships in being sufficiently prepared to navigate data center proposals. I don't believe from what I've seen in Howell Township that they are. Other counties appear to be taking action to support their municipalities, such as Washtenaw County, who passed a resolution in September to develop extensive outreach materials for municipalities and also provided specific and detailed recommendations on the required impact studies and data that should be obtained by four townships from developers as part of any data center proposals. We're now also seeing Ingham County acting as well. Given that this type of development is so novel and incredibly impactful, and it will realistically impact residents not only across the county, but across the entire state of Michigan, I truly look forward to hearing from you all on how you can, at the county level, guide policy and protections for all townships within Livingston County. Thank you.
Stephanie Booth, City of Howell. That's the last card that I have.
Good evening. I just wanted to mention a couple things. I did go to a planning commission meeting where there was very vocal opposition to solar farms, very vocal, so much so that the farmers that wanted to sell their land to the solar farmers their voices were buried under just voices of dis and misinformation. I happen to be a person in favor of it. I attended a health advisory committee here in this building on the same day, held like a half hour before the meeting. And they were citing a study from 1997 saying like 45 to 55 decibels is harmful for an infant up to 4 weeks old. Okay, so they were really reaching back in time and really going for obscure data to justify an argument. I'd like to know, what our health advisory committee, I know a commissioner here sits on it, what they have to say about it, if they're going to be that pedantic about not having a solar farm, which actually probably would benefit people, even if I know there's a lot of opposition to it. So I'd like to see you go to the same route with the data center on our health advisory committee, since you have the power to do so. On the December 15th meeting, I made a misstatement of sorts. I don't believe at this point the real estate agent that presented the meeting with the GOP chair or necessarily the GOP chair have an interest, but I mean, for sure the real estate agent. And so I feel bad about even suggesting that, because I guess I went back to the civil discussion meeting. I realized he had said he doesn't have enough property, and it doesn't matter. He might be on the side of it. He might not be. That's really none of my business. So I shouldn't have gone down that road. Just one more thing. I also made a misstatement. I said the 1 minute and 54-minute mark on YouTube. This is my brain. It's actually the 1 hour, 52-minute mark where, okay, a commissioner of ours that sits on this board, he sat with three other men, and they were just discussing, among other things, which is their right and their thing, but I think the community ought to be aware that he's sitting there with a bunch of three other guys saying good things about the Proud Boys and so I think it's a terrible representation for the community to have someone sitting on the Board of Commissioners that doesn't take issue with the Proud Boys.
I have no further cards.
Any hands on Zoom?
No, Commissioner, I do not see any.
Nor do I. So at this point, the call to the public is now closed. We'll go on to item number 8 of the agenda, entitled Approval of Minutes. 8A reads, Meeting Minutes dated December 15, 2025. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Domas, second by Commissioner Fiani. Any comment or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving December 15th, 2025 minutes, kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm hearing 9-0. That passes unanimously. We're on to number 9, tabled items from previous meetings. I have none, but if another commissioner has one, it'd be time to raise your hand. I'm seeing none, so there's our 0 activity for item number 9. We'll go on to number 10, reports by commissioners to bring items to the entire commissioner's attention. Anyone have report tonight? Commissioner Fiani.
I'd just like to note that I appreciate those who spoke this evening regarding the data center. I'm happy to answer the questions after the meeting and also relay those to our Director of Planning here at the county. And we're fortunate this evening to have Mr. Wright in attendance. He is a member of the Planning Committee for the county. The county has very minimal, if any, say in the data centers, but we do want to play an active role for the part we can. So thank you.
Any further or other report? Commissioner Nakagiri, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to share with my colleagues that this evening I chatted with legal counsel about the possibility of passing a resolution that would prohibit any county employee from engaging in a non-disclosure agreement. Those non-disclosure agreements, in my opinion, have no business in government, which is supposed to be transparent to the people. And I've read enough about non-disclosure agreements vis-a-vis the data centers to that's I would say the spark that got me really interested in what the county can do at a county level to prohibit non-disclosure agreements. So I'm going to pursue that more vigorously. And like I said, my first step was chatting with legal counsel. I also wanted to mention, regarding the concern about the data center, I too am somebody who, I've been in the county for almost 30 years. I came here because I liked it a little bit out of the way. I liked it a little bit quieter. I liked the rural character. And I have been in enough discussions with citizens to know that there's a number of citizens that want to maintain the rural character of the county. And although the county government, doesn't have the authority that a township or city government has with respect to zoning, I am certainly going to do what I can to maintain the rural character of the county. So that's it. Thank you.
Any further reports? Seeing no hands, we'll close reports. We'll go into item number 11, resolutions for consideration. It reads 2026-01-001, election of board chair for 2026. I temporarily turn the meeting over to our clerk to receive any motions for secret ballot and or nominations and or voting. You have the floor.
Yes, Commissioner Sample.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Fiani for the board chair of 2026.
I'll second that motion.
Are there any other nominations for board chair for 2026? I'll ask one more time. Are there any other nominations for board chair for 2026? Seeing no other nomination or hearing no other nominations, I would look to close nominations, and all of those in favor of electing Nick Fiani for board chair, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries 9-0, so it is currently 6:26. I will pass the meeting over to Chair Fiani.
Thank you. Would you like a formal motion and second for the resolution solidifying?
If legal counsel is good, we have the motion by Commissioner Sample, second by Commissioner Panovich.
Thank you. Next item we have is the election of the board vice chair. Is there a nomination for board vice chair? I will start by nominating Commissioner Jay Drick. Is there a second for Commissioner Drick?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Panovich. Are there any other nominations for board vice chair? Seeing no other nominations, I nominate Commissioner Drick for the position of vice chair. Commissioner Panovich seconded it. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Commissioner Drick is elected vice chair of the board for 2026 with a 9-0 vote. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the rules. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution, adopting the rules of the Livingston County Board of Commissioners, and to establish meeting dates for 2026?
So moved, Sample. Support, Alderman.
Moved by Commissioner Sample, supported by Commissioner Helserman. Any discussions? Commissioner Gross.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this point, I would like to offer two amendments to the board rules. The first one has to do, actually, they both have to do with call to the public, which in the board rules is identified as public comment periods. I would like to make a motion that in section 5 under conduct of board meetings, item M, meeting rules, item 2, public comment period, AKA call to the public, that immediately after the terms, the second public comment period, that we would insert the following language that however, any public comment during the public comment period of any full board meeting must be directly related to that board meeting agenda for that specific date.
If I may?
Well, did you want to second it, or because I heard the motion and I just want to see if there's
I'll
a second?
it. Comment then.
Okay, so motion to amend by Commissioner Gross, seconded by Commissioner Panovich, and you have the floor, Commissioner.
Yeah, my brother, fellow commissioner, I agree with you on your motion. Also that if there is call to the public, I know in the past there's been some problem where we couldn't understand what was being said because people speak in different languages. I speak 4 different languages and I speak before you in the English language. And our president has said the language in the United States of America is English, and that should be part of the policy amendment, that'd be in the English language. I could sit here and speak in some of my other dialects and everybody here would wonder what I was talking about, but let's make it English.
One thing I'll note on that is we would be prohibited from restricting the language. But But I do receive your second to the motion. Is there any additional discussion or commentary among the commissioners? Commissioner Helserman?
I oppose this amendment. In my mind, we are here for the public. I go to some township meetings, and I have some brief comments that I want to make. Well, I have to wait until all of the business of the day is done before I get a chance to speak. And sometimes my clock and my bedtime come before that. I understand the purpose of this, but in my mind, we are here for the public. And, I know that sometimes this would be right. For example, the Howell, the first planning commissions, they met at the Howell High School. They had a policy of having only things on the agenda or things that were on the agenda that they couldn't be in the first call to the public because they would be coming up in the agenda, and the public during that time had a time to speak to those issues. But our board has no time during the time that we talk about an issue that we get feedback from the public. In my mind, this is an idea that sounds good but isn't good, because I love the call of the public. I like to hear what they're saying. We don't get enough of it, and in my mind, we don't have enough back and forth between the public and this body, and so I will be voting against this. I don't know, it was last year or the year before, there was a motion to only have one call to the public at the beginning. And I prevailed upon the board to have a second one that was limited to 2 minutes instead of having a 3 and a 3, which I think is fine. But if we take away the 3 minutes at the beginning and we make the public sit through all of our deliberating and they can only speak at the end, they should at least have 3 minutes then. To me, I kind of understand why. I just don't agree, and I almost violently disagree. So I would suggest that we not pass this.
Yeah, I share the same agreements with Commissioner Helserman. I think it's an unnecessary change to the current structure of our meetings. I also think that our meetings aren't been running long enough to share concern that there's unnecessary time used. I also think that perhaps if we ever do run into some situations where this could be better served to be brought through committee. So I'll oppose it also.
Are there any other commissioners who wish to address the topic? Commissioner Drick?
Commissioner Hausman, there are 2 ways that the public can address us during a meeting. Both are found in the rules. The first is county officials or personnel may speak with the consent of the chair for that meeting. And any person with the consent of the chair or a majority vote of that committee can be allowed to comment from the floor. So all you'd need to do is ask the chair to allow somebody in the audience or one of our staff or any other person, what do they think? And if the chair says do it, it's done. I've allowed people to speak before.
So the chair can waive this rule.
The chair can get people to speak that are not members of the commission, as long as you or a majority vote that could even outvote the chair saying no. So there's a way if you wanted to. It doesn't completely foreclose that part of the bylaws. Just so you,
Okay, so.
just so you know.
Commissioner Panovich.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research just on the Open Meeting Acts and the call of the public. And one of the things specifically covered was there would be no personal attacks during the call to the public. I think in the past, it's happened. And I think that should be part of the motion, the resolution, to be no personal attacks during the call of the public. If it's something to do with the agenda, speak. Other than that, we don't care. I don't.
Commissioner Gross.
I'd like to point out another item, item C on page 26 of 29. Under the public comment period, we gave all of the public. It says this public comment period is not intended to be a dialogue between the citizens and this public body. And that has been acknowledged universally. Rather, it is an opportunity for citizens to present information of importance to this public body. That's us. And there's been a number of times over quite a period of time where we have been given information that is not important to this body. Thank you.
Any other commissioners wish to weigh in? Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm just seeking clarification on what the amendment would actually do. In my understanding, and I'll ask Commissioner Gross to see if my understanding is correct, that on meetings where we have one call to public, that will stay the same. It'll be 3 minutes and the citizen can speak on any issue. There's no restriction on the content. It's during a meeting that we have two call to publics that one of the periods, either the three or the two, is restricted to the agenda, to speak to the agenda. The other one is open comment. So, and I'm not really sure which, is it the 3 minute period that's open or the 2 minute period? So I'm looking for clarification, so.
The initial call to the public is 3 minutes. That would be restricted to agenda only. The second call to the public is 2 minutes. That would be open for everything.
And then in any meeting that only has one call to public, it's open to anything?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Gross, to clarify, for example, this evening, a number of members spoke regarding data centers and the county master plan and so forth. I know that's not an item on this evening's agenda. From your perspective, would that therefore not be permitted if this amendment were to pass?
Yes.
Okay, so they couldn't address the board regarding the data centers or the solar farms and the county master plan and so forth?
Not during the first call to the public. They could during the second.
Okay. Commissioner Drick?
At this point, I don't want to have to vote on this unless forced, because I think we ought to listen to what our attorney says in an updated opinion letter after today's date. He's been listening. We have various comments. I'd like an updated letter so we could consider that before we vote. If we have to vote on this, for that reason, I'd be voting no. But I'd like to see what the law of the state of Michigan is, any case law, any losing cases, any winning cases. I'd like to figure that out before we launch into this. So right now, as it stands, I'm not convinced we ought to do it. I'd like to hear from our attorney in an updated letter.
So with the motion being on the table and being seconded, we would, in order to proceed in that route, we'd have to have the motion withdrawn and then the second withdrawn. Are you willing to withdraw the motion and await legal opinion? And
No, our attorney is here tonight and he can speak to that issue.
okay. Attorney Norford, do you wish to weigh in?
Sure. So I just want to be clear, if we are going to limit one of the two public comments, we make that abundantly clear which one it is, but that is legally permissible. You can put reasonable rules into public comment, but you still have First Amendment to contend with. So having in the second public comment open to anyone to petition their government is critically important here. Just want to make sure I understand the language of the amendment as well. If it is to limit only the first public comment period of any meeting to being related to the agenda, that would be legally permissible in my view.
Thank you, Mr. Norford. Any other questions or comments among the commissioners? Commissioner Domas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's a tremendous significance to call to the public that sometimes we tend to overlook. I hear a lot of things that call to the public that I disagree with, some that I don't care for, and others that I applaud. In any event, I think this is the public's opportunity and privilege to speak their mind, and any changes to that policy should be carefully thought out. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional questions or comments? Commissioner Drake.
Attorney Norford, what's your observation as to the legal hot water or no hot water about English?
Well, that's not part of this amendment as I understand it.
Correct, but it may eventually get there.
I would like the opportunity to provide a written attorney-client privileged opinion on that. I can give you a broad stroke overview, which is that although I think there's moderate exposure for English only, it is reduced significantly if you simply frame it in a way as to provide for the opportunity for somebody to either offer their own translation or have a translator present. It can still be within the original amount of time that's provided for the comment. So it would be still, in the case of the first public comment, a 3-minute period. The county board would not have to provide a translator. I just think it's pretty important from a liability standpoint to allow for alternatives to a non-English speaker to communicate with the government. But I do think you could have a rule that says that the comments should be provided in English and then allow for those options. It's important for record keeping and your understanding if you don't understand the language of the communication to be able to know what is being said.
Thank you.
Seeing no other questions or comments, we will proceed. Commissioner Sample.
We have a roll call on this, Chairman.
Yes. So
Are we
will
voting on both?
No, we're strictly voting on the first motion made by Commissioner Gross, second by Commissioner Panovich, that we have before us in writing. A yes vote will approve or show support for the amendment. A no vote will keep the status quo, and the amendment will not proceed forward.
Mr. Chair?
Maybe, yes.
I'm sorry for the interruption. I just want to make sure that I am reading what you have in front of you. The quoted language that I have says, however, any public comment during the first comma or only comma public comment period. Is that what you have as well?
That's been changed. It got changed.
Did I see the one that you have, Chair, just to make sure that's consistent with my advice on the first public comment only?
Commissioner Gross, would you like to provide that to Mr. Norford?
It should be, however, any public comment during the first public comment period of any full board meeting must be directly related to the that board meeting agenda for that specific date.
No concerns from my legal perspective with that language.
Thank you.
So it's only the board, it's not committee meetings.
Correct.
That's the.
Mr. Chair, I do not have that current language. Could I please have a copy before the, at the end of the meeting? I have the old language that was submitted.
I will make sure you have it correct.
Okay, thank you.
At this time, we will proceed with a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
No.
Commissioner Domas, Commissioner Sample,
No.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
No.
Commissioner Drick,
No.
Commissioner Deaton,
No.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani.
No,
Motion to amend fails.
thank you. Commissioner Gross?
If I may, I have a second proposed amendment.
Okay.
In that same section B, hold on just a second. Oh, section D currently reads, prior to addressing the public body, each citizen is required to provide in writing their name and city or township of residence. It should read, for the record. There's nothing in here that indicates that people who participate via Zoom or any virtual medium are required to provide their address or the city or township residence for the record. So a matter of housekeeping, I think it should be specified that those participating via Zoom or virtual media are required to provide their name and city or township of residence, just as people in the room are required to do.
Okay,
I support that.
so Commissioner Gross made the motion for the amendment. Commissioner Helserman supports it. And if my understanding is correct, you're simply, in summary, requesting that those who participate in Zoom, that's formally noted in the board policies, that they provide their name and city or township of residence for the record.
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion to amend is approved, 9-0. Are there any other proposed amendments to the board policies and policies and rules? Commissioner Deaton.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I'd like to propose an amendment on the change of subcommittee meeting dates, basically swapping SIPSID and general government.
Is that a motion to amend?
Motion to amend, please.
Okay. Motion to amend by Commissioner Deaton to swap the meeting dates for the SIPSA committee with the general government committee. Is there a second to Commissioner Deaton's motion?
Support for discussion purposes, please.
Supported by Commissioner Domas. Commissioner Deaton, I'll give you an opportunity if you'd like to elaborate, if you think that's needed.
Sure.
Not?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So what I've observed over the last couple of years and with general government, it seems it gets the bulk of the resolutions. And a lot of times they get postponed or moved to where we need to move them over to the finance. So if they're happening on the same day, I think it'd make it a little bit sort of streamlined for the county to move resolutions and changes quicker. So.
Thank you, Commissioner.
That's fine.
Any comments or questions among the board? All those in,
I would just, if our administrator would
weigh in on this?
weigh in, see if he sees any advantage or disadvantage.
No, I think it's fine. We would just reprint the calendar with the meetings swapped. I don't think there's any disadvantage to this or advantage. It would just be a matter of getting the resolution deadline adjusted to for different committees, but that would just take a week or so to get that all in place. So I don't see any disadvantage to swapping the meeting.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gross?
I'd like to clarify that. So the proposed amendment would be to change general government from the first Monday to the second, and public safety, court of public safety from second to first.
That's correct.
Right. Okay.
So first Monday of the month, starting next month, because this meeting bumps everything back a month, would be personnel and SIPSID. And then second committee meeting would be general government FAM and then the full board meeting. And that would be the sequence.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, there's no issues here.
Commissioner Gross?
But would that start in February or next week?
I presume February, but
It could start as soon as this month. You know, this month, everything gets bumped back a week because of the organizational meeting. But unless you specify differently, we would probably have it start this month. So a week from tonight, instead of general government personnel, we would try to have citizen personnel. We did ask everybody to get resolutions in for all committees by now. So we should have the resolutions in hand for those agendas. But that's up to you. If you want to start in February, that's fine. Otherwise, we would probably start it as soon as next week.
any other questions or comments? In that case, as long as it's feasible, I think if this is approved, we could start next week and go from there.
If this passes, we'll reprint this tomorrow and distribute it out so everybody knows when the meetings are.
Thank you, Administrator. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The amendment passes 9-0. Commissioner Drick, I believe you had a.
Yes, thank you. I would refer you to the page of the rules that has courts public safety boxed. Okay, that box page. I'm looking at page 5 of 15 of the rules, page 19 of 29 of our packet. And if you notice the very last thing on courts public safety, it says parks open space. I'd like to have a vertical line drawn after the word committee and add one more topic that courts public safety and infrastructure would have supervisory control over. And it would say, in short, all attorney activities of the entire county. So that there'd be a lower committee that would receive reports about what attorney activities have been going on and give us updates, which we may have received one in 2024, and I don't think we got any in 2025. Could have been my fault for not remembering to do it, but I think if it's on courts and public safety as one of their supervisory jobs, then we can get more reports. And I say this because I do ask and I get the bills from our attorneys. And I don't think there's anybody here that ever heard a report about something called Padlo litigation or Gubala appeal or there was one other, or a grievance concerning an EMS secretary or a request for a functional capacity evaluation or a register of deeds difficulty where the register of deeds was in court over a warranty deed. And so these are all things that we should at least be hearing about. And if we had it in a committee, that chairman then would be responsible for getting letters that could be reviewed in closed session, or we could have reports from that attorney to bring us up to date and up to speed. So I'm asking for an extra supervisory duty under courts, public safety and infrastructure by just adding a few words in that little box that's left over. May have to go down the line.
So Commissioner Drick, you made a motion to add to the box of responsibilities for SIPSA committee.
Correct.
All attorney activities of entire county.
Correct. Just so it's shorthand in that box.
Is there, well, first, is there a second to Commissioner Drick's motion?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Panovich. Commissioner Gross.
With this discussion of those various itemized topics, should those be considered as to be done in closed session?
They could be. If I ask for, excuse me, if the chair asks for the report in a letter under the statute, if it has to do with litigation or court fighting, then we could do it in closed session. Or we could do, I remember Attorney Seward coming in, and I think that was in closed session too. But anything about litigation or proposed or litigation or threats of litigation,
Ongoing.
yes, we could do it in closed session to bring us up to speed without tipping off our opponent.
You want to add that requirement to your proposed amendment?
Well, unfortunately, in our rules, that box that I put it under isn't necessarily the place to spell it out.
It'd be at the discretion of the committee chair and
As it is now.
what's legally, yes, and what's legally permissible.
Right. But that would be I would think the bulk of the way we would get the information with a attorney letter and go into closed.
You have the language for the clerk.
Yes.
I spoke slowly and I think she got it.
I have that language. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Commissioner Helser.
Okay, I have something that came, kind of stuck out in my mind on page 27.
Commissioner Helser, I apologize for
Oh,
interrupting.
we have to take a vote here?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so,
I just wanted to make sure that your question or comment was on another topic. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor for the proposed amendment by Commissioner Drick, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The amendment proposed by Commissioner Drick is approved 9-0. Commissioner Helserman, you have the floor.
Yes, on page 27 of 29, under section 6, administration, letter E, talks about members manual. And I did a little asking around if anybody has ever received a member's manual. I didn't get any affirmatives. So I would just ask that we would get a report in a month as to what it will take, because it says names and addresses, phone numbers of the board, we get that. The most current board rules, which we are amending tonight, all county ordinances except bond issues, I don't know if we have that. All board resolutions continuing effect. And there are other things, and I think it would be good for us. I don't know if you want to assign that to a committee or whatever, but I would suggest that we get a report back and take action within a month on that.
Sounds good. I can follow up with Administrator Byrd regarding that item. I believe a number of these items are usually provided when there is a new board that takes seats. And Administrator Byrd, do you wish to elaborate on this at all, or?
Yeah, typically the packet is larger when there's incoming new members. As Commissioner Helserman indicated, we do some of this, the things that are updated and changed. I would probably rather have you debate whether or not you need all of that stuff every year, personally. We have all those things available, but to give them to you in a printed binder, like it's the 1980s, it'll get cumbersome. And so perhaps if we could have some sort of amendment that allowed us to house these virtually somewhere, as opposed to, which we could probably do fairly easily, as opposed to having to print out something with all the historical ordinances in it
Yeah,
and all that. I'm guessing that's probably why it's.
I'm saying so that we can easily access if we need to or want to. Because it talks about a manual, and obviously it'd be quite massive, and I don't think anybody particularly wants that. But
So what I'm happy to, I would propose that I can discuss with you and Administrator Byrd about how we can revise this language. We don't have to do it this evening, but we can revise it and bring it back forward so it more appropriately reflects the practices we currently have. and makes it more feasible as well. So if that works for you.
Yes.
And we're happy to work with you and others, whoever wants to chat about that, be happy to comply in whatever way is most feasible.
Sounds good. Thank you. Commissioner Sample.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to move the calendar date of November 2nd for the committees to go to the 16th. That's the Monday before the election day, and we've ran into attendance issues.
Okay, there was a motion to amend the calendar. Okay, moving the committee's meeting on the 2nd to November 16th. Is there a second?
Support.
Second by Commissioner Domas.
Do we want to move them down? Is that what you want to do?
I'm open to
Two
anything. I
to the
just,
9th and 9th to the 16th?
whatever the board feels is appropriate. I just know that we have elections on the 3rd and a lot of folks work polls and different things. So we've had issues in the past on the month before changing that meeting date.
So my first question is, if we're doing it for November, would we also want to do the same for August?
If we think we're gonna have attendance issues, yeah.
So would you like to revise your motion to, well, first I'll ask Administrator Byrd, would it be more optimal to move those committees that meet on the 2nd of November to the 16th, or shift everything down 1 week as Commissioner Hausman mentioned?
Much, I think in the past, we've moved it to the open Monday a few times. The 3rd Monday of the month is normally off, and the only problem, it's not a problem, but the only issue with that is that it compresses the timeline to get the full board agenda ready from that week to the next, but the same thing will exist
Either way.
So it really, from our perspective, it's whichever way you'd like to do it should be.
I guess the only thing I would propose is we have the full board on the 2nd Monday.
Yeah,
So-
continue.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So
Would you just shift the committees and leave the full board on that date?
what I would propose is both for August and for November of 2026, the two committees meeting on the 1st Monday would meet on the 3rd Monday.
Yeah.
That's what I would.
Motion.
That's the motion way I proposed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll make that motion proposal.
I'll make the motion to move the August 3rd to August 17th and the November 2nd to November 16th.
Yeah, that's right.
Committee
And
meetings.
then it was seconded by Commissioner Domas. Commissioner Gross.
Who would be impacted if we held current schedule? None of us are up for election.
Well, I typically volunteer on the evenings, so I would be impacted for one.
Technically, none of us are on the ballot. I do understand that, but just know that people have made commitments to work different poll locations and different things.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed? The motion to amend the calendar passes 9-0. Are there any other proposed amendments at this time? All those in favor of approving the amended resolution, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The amended resolution is approved with a 9-0 vote. At this time, we'll move on to the second call of the public for the evening. If you wish to address the board, please submit a card. You will have 2 minutes.
I do have 2 cards. Steve Williams for Marion Township, followed by Chuck Wright. I'll use this one.
Okay, gentlemen, for what it's worth, I think you dodged a bullet and you avoided giving a gift to the Democrats in this election year. Google AI is your friend and specifically says, no, Michigan boards of commissioners generally cannot prohibit criticism of county employees during a public comment period because it violates First Amendment free speech rights, as speech can't be barred for just being critical or offensive. Rules must be viewpoint neutral and address disruption, not content, with the Open Meetings Act requiring access, not censorship. While bodies can set reasonable rules for decorum, time limits, order, etc., banning criticism of officials or employees is seen as unconstitutional viewpoint discrimination as established in cases like Bay City, Michigan. Okay, back to my main issue there. You'll see on the back 2 pages, there's a nice little wanted poster for one of the dogs who was stolen that Forrest Putman stole to give to his girlfriend, right? And the documentation is there clearly establishing ownership. And again, when my wife made this part of her personal protection order petition, she was mocked by the judge. Now, I told you we got the horse back, right? $20,000 horse gone for 5.5 years, the prime of his life, one of 4 foals that my wife bred and raised from the same parents. There's a 5th foal who had a different mother, all right? So stolen in the prime of his life. When that horse returned home and my stepson went to his bio father's house, this dog disappeared. When the lawyer guardian ad litem, right, Melanie Schwarza from Dexter, finally interviewed Gavin for the 2nd time in 7 months after charging us over $10,000, she asked him, well, how do you know there was a stolen dog? She quizzed him. She grilled him. She didn't ask him. At any rate, he said, of course I know. And this is actually Gavin. He's known that dog all his life. And instead of supporting him and taking his complaints about guns and driving, etc., she dismissed the kid as if he's lying. And Gavin is not a liar. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Chuck Wright, Handy Township, followed by Charles Smith.
Congratulations, Chairman Fiani. Everybody on the dais has asked voters to put them up here. And I'm surprised that you want to limit them coming to talk to you and sharing their viewpoints with you and to try to decide what's important. Someone's taking time out of their day, coming to this room to talk to you is probably important. Thank you.
Charles Smith, Howell Township.
Back. And again, Nick, congrats. Mr. Drick, congrats. I got a real problem with you not wanting me to talk. A real problem. That is ridiculous. I work 90 hours a day. I make it a point to come down to meetings now because I've seen some of the most ridiculous things in my life. Okay? You people need to listen to this. You want to sit here and say that I can't criticize someone for doing something or saying something that is definitely against everything I believe in? Baloney. That's baloney. I appreciate you folks that are here willing to listen. Okay? That got me hot. That's ridiculous. I do so much work in a day. I have to be a quality manager. I have to be an environmental manager. I have to be a safety manager. And I work until the job's done every night. And half the time I can't even get it done. So I come in early in the morning. This is baloney. Now, going back to, I came down here for the purposes of, you guys got a document here, the resolution urging transparency and comprehensive regulatory framework in local and data center development. That's what I just saw. You're not going to have any conversation about that. Do you realize how much is in here that directly affects me, you, everybody in this county, everybody in my township? And you just went, yep, we got it. What are you going to do with it? Is anybody going to have a discussion about that? And if so, when? Because I want to be there. Because this is important. This is everything that I want to see happen. Folks, you're in charge of the county for crying out loud. You have to do something about this. I am beside myself right now. You haven't even seen me mad yet. Okay? This is ridiculous. When will this be addressed? Can somebody answer that after the meeting? Because I want to know. Thank you. I'm 69 years old too, and I work that many hours still.
Lauren Prebenda from Osceola Township.
That's true.
Sorry, that was a last minute decision to speak again. I just wanted to say thank you for not passing the amendment change for the call to the public. I recently re-engaged locally. I've always been pretty involved on a state and national level politically. Engaging in my community is new, and I will say it does often feel like there are very few opportunities to speak with commissioners, planning commissioners, you all face to face in a meaningful way. This is really important time. And I'm one of the people sitting at home reciting my 3-minute speech or 2-minute speech and making sure I can get out everything I need to say in the time. So it may seem like a very small change, but it's very impactful. And those 3 minutes or those 2 minutes are really important to us. And in terms of the comment on making call to the public English only, I also speak multiple languages. I've lived in multiple countries, and I'm very glad that when I have lived in other countries and I haven't spoken the language fluently, I haven't lost my opportunity to have a voice. And I hope that that doesn't happen here, because that's highly inappropriate. Just because someone doesn't speak English natively or fluently, they should not lose their voice. They should not lose their impact. So I hope to never see that happen and that amendment happen here. It's very important, regardless of language, that everyone is heard. So we should be doing everything we can to provide interpreters and ensure that people can be heard regardless of the language that they speak. Thank you.
I have no further cards.
Thank you. Is there anyone on Zoom who is wishing to participate in the call of the public?
Yes, Commissioner, I have Tim and Colleen Quinn.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Good evening, Commissioners. It's Colleen Quinn. Tim and I are both watching. But I wanted to thank you for allowing everybody to continue to speak. However, I would request that the citizens also be mindful of what you guys have influence over, and not to go on and on about certain topics that there's literally nothing you guys can do to help. And I feel like sometimes that's what we're presented with, and it gets a little old just from my perspective. But thank you again, and congratulations to Commissioner Fiana. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on the call of the public for Zoom?
Commissioner, there's no hands, but I did a hand for Mary Serio, and I put her hand down because it was during discussion. So I just want to make sure she does not want to speak. So if you can give me just a second, and I'll unmute her and see if she wants to say anything.
Yes.
I would just like to say that I agree with the comments that we need to keep the call to the public open to the public in whatever language they speak best. And so I appreciate the board not voting for Commissioner Gross's proposal. Thank you very much.
And could you repeat your name and municipality or residence, please?
Muted her. Hold on just 1 second, please. I have to unmute her.
Mary Serio in Osceola Township.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on Zoom who wishes to address the board?
No, Commissioner, I do not see any.
Thank you. At this time, the second call of the public is closed. We will proceed with commissioner comments. Are there any comments among the Commissioner Domas?
Thank you. I want to compliment our former chairman
for a job well done. It's not an easy job. I sat in that chair a couple of times myself. And, we're very proud to have, served with you. And I'm sure that your next in charge is going to benefit from all of the experiences he got in your leadership. And we have many good years to look forward to. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Chair. New Mr. Chair.
Any additional comments among the board? Commissioner Helserman.
I'd just like to give a little context to the data center because I am personally opposed to the data center, but my reason for opposing the data center is because it will make sure that only right ideas are brought forward in whoever is deciding what the right ideas are. It will limit our ability to have voices from from alternative areas. That is the most dangerous part of it. And that's the reason why I oppose it. On the other hand, we have to be careful that this is a worldwide phenomena. It's not a local phenomena. It's not a national phenomenon. It's a worldwide phenomena. And if projections are true, whoever dominates in this area will control the world. And so our state and our country, if we want to have a chance to remain free, we have to engage in this area. That doesn't talk about the placing of it, because basically what I've heard is an objection to placing it where it's being placed. Well, so where is the best place for this? Let me just talk a little bit about the sweet spot of where Handy, Howell Township, Iosco Township, and Marion Township come together. It's what you call a sweet spot in the country. At that location where those 4 townships come together, there are 3 major gas lines that come together there. Three major gas lines in our country, not just in Michigan, in our country. And so that's the reason why Handy Township several years ago allowed for a generating plant to go forward. And that generating plant could give all sorts of energy to Michigan and to our area. It's one thing that makes that area a sweet spot. The second thing that makes this a sweet spot is because of the water, the aquifer underneath that area. And Howell Township has been dealing with putting in, stopping a gas station going there, so it doesn't affect the aquifer. Anyways, it has unlimited amount. There's no such thing as unlimited, but it has a vast amount of water. It makes that area a sweet spot. And so if the federal government gets involved in this, and if the state gets involved in it, even if the whole county was against it, it would happen. And so we need to have some realistic ideas about it. I think that we do need to, as the lady from Osceola Township said, we do need to make sure that we mitigate every single problem that we can mitigate to the very best extent that we can. And that's where the local townships come in, and that's right. We need to do that. Let me speak a little bit about the Van Gilders. The Van Gilder family, when I was young, I dated a girl who were.
Commissioner Hausman, we can't go through your data history.
Okay. So anyways.
They're gonna try.
Anyways, the Van Gilder family, if you ever want to hear that story, I'll tell you, they worked hard, they had right timing. That's the only reason they own that property. It's, anyways.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Okay, thank you. My story's done. If anybody wants to hear the rest of the story, I'd be happy to tell you.
Wasn't that a show, the rest of the story?
Thank you, Commissioner Hausman. Maybe another week.
Maybe.
Any other commissioner comments? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move, Helserman.
Support Deaton.
All those in favor to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we are adjourned.